The test request module inside of LabLINK is one of the most important modules. It's important because as test requests are created, they are then followed through the process where we are scheduling resources against them, we're scheduling tasks, we are able to monitor those test requests, look at runtime efficiencies, we are able to establish quality states or quality metrics based upon completed tests, and with those we can very easily create customized reports. We are also able to attach raw data and other document types directly to the test request so that all of the important information for the testing, including a final test report, are all included inside of LabLINK for long-term storage. So today we're going to talk about some of the terms that are used inside of the test request module and what it takes to create a new test request. As I go to the test request module, we'll notice that by default I am displayed any test request that I created or that has been assigned to me. So I have a couple of different miscellaneous ones here that I've been using. So we're going to open one of these test requests up, and we'll talk about some of the terminology in designing a procedure which test requests are made from. And we can have lots of different procedures depending upon the type of testing or equipment that may be required. It's all completely customizable by the end user and does not require any coding in the database behind the scenes, which is a very nice feature. So inside of the test request here, you'll see this is my example test request, which is numbered at the top of the screen. We have what we call parameters. And parameters are each field that you see here where the user is going to enter a text string, a numeric value, a checkbox, a date. So there's lots of different entry types that can be used and be stored. And each place where you see a blue heading here that we can expand or minimize is a section. And a section is a grouping of parameters, and we can combine sections together into a template. Templates are what we create our procedures from. Inside of our test request module, I'm going to click on Design, and you'll notice that what pops up by default are our procedures. So a procedure is what you would create a test request based upon. And a procedure is made up of a template, which is made up of one or more sections, and those sections are made up of one or more parameters. So we're going to start at the base level, parameters. So on the right hand side of the screen here, I'm going to click on the drop down menu and I'm going to go to parameters. And these parameters can be anything that the user would like to be able to capture. So as you'll notice in our demo system here, we have a little over 100 parameters that have been set up. And these could be anything from a break type to a customer name to really the sky is the limit here. And we'll notice that our control type, we have text, we have checkboxes, we have drop down lists, we have number. So there's a lot of different ways that we can allow the user to enter information that is useful for our testing or for our processes that are required. Very customizable and very user-friendly. So for our demonstration today, I'm going to go ahead and create a few parameters. So I'm going to click on the right or the plus button here, the blue button over on the right side, and I'm going to assign a name. And to differentiate these parameters from the other ones in our system, I'm going to start those off with the word demo. So So I'm going to create a demo customer name. And I'm going to provide a tooltip here. And there's a couple other fields. So we can allow this parameter to be copied when a test request is cloned or a copy of a test request is made. And then we can also allow this parameter to be assigned a default value in a procedure. So for this particular attribute, I don't feel that having a default value set in a procedure for a customer name is overly helpful for my particular scenario here. So I've got this information entered. I'm going to click the right arrow to go to our control type. Now this is where I'm going to tell what type of information we should be allowing the user to select. So in this case, I'm going to provide text as the control type. And if we wanted to, we could have a default value that is displayed here for a customer name that probably does not make sense. So I will not enter anything here. Okay, then we go to our technical details page. And there are a number of different items that we can do here that I would consider to be more advanced features, which we will not be talking about in this demonstration. We do have a checkbox here to hide parameter in test request if its value is the default for its data type. So that will help minimize the things that are displayed on the screen unless we're in edit mode if the default value was left alone. So I will select that. Okay, so now I've got some information here that summarizes what we just put together, and I'm going to go ahead and click the green check mark, and that will create that. So if we scroll down now, we should see demo customer name. So I'm going to create another one for demo customer address. Go ahead and fast forward through some of these. So I'm going to add in some additional items like color of the vehicle with a drop-down menu. Going to add how many doors there are on the vehicle. Going to add some more specific information like engine size, what is the displacement of the engine, and we're going to choose a unit that goes along with that. We'll also select the number of cylinders in the engine with the drop-down menu, so we can provide some different options here as well. Okay, so at this time, we've now established a few different parameters, and we are now going to combine some of those into sections. So in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, if I select sections, we will see some of the ones that we have available to us now. So we've got a customer contact information where you would group customer related parameters together, date information where we would do similar things. So we're going to create a couple here, and again we're going to use this demo as a differentiator as we start off. So now that I have this named, I want to assign parameters to this specific section. So I'm going to search for any of the parameters that I named using demo. So I'm going to use customer name, and I'm going to use customer address. Now that I've done that, I'm going to click Save. And I'm going to create another So under Demo Basic Vehicle Information, I'm going to add in the color of the vehicle and how many doors the vehicle has. Save that, and we'll create one more. Now I'll pick a couple of the more specific items. So now that we've built out some of the specific sections that we're interested in to comprise a test request, we will go ahead and create a template. And a template would be a combination of sections. So I will click the blue plus button to create a new template. I will select a machine type, and that will be a in-vehicle system, and we'll provide an estimated runtime hours that will be used for scheduling and quality and other metrics, and number of report time hours. Okay, so now I'm going to search for my available sections, and we'll start with demo, and we're going to go with our customer information, our basic vehicle information, and our specific vehicle information. So these were the three sections that we put together that were comprised of one or more parameters. Now that we have this template created, we can save this, and we are now ready to create a procedure. Again, I will hit the right plus button here, or the blue plus button. And we need to start off by selecting it. We need to select a template, and the template that we just created was Demo Vehicle Basic Test. And for this procedure, we'll give this a name. So the Demo Vehicle Basic Test has the layout of the information that we want to collect. Now this will provide us a means to be able to set up a unique procedure that must be executed in the vehicle in a way to differentiate that and track that in the rest of our modules. Call this Demo Mileage Accumulation Test. 500 miles of off-road driving. So now that we have our parameters created, our sections that contain those parameters, our templates, and our procedure has been created, we are now ready to create our first test request. Thank you for your time today. Please tune in to our next video in this series, which covers creating a new test request.